Hey, this is Calvin Parker. You're listening to the Unbelievers podcast.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating you inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan?
I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything, you know? Just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's
and we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby. We covered right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
Through the course of this program, we have devoted countless episodes to cryptid creatures whose primary stomping ground is the land. Unknown monsters haunting the forests, hills, hollers, and even cities on this terra firma. But what about the wetness? Tonight, the Unbelievers podcast heads to the high seas in search of one of the most ancient and sexy of all the half-human, half-something hybrids. Is it possible that humanoid fish people lurk in the depths of our oceans? Are mysterious sonar bloops proof of an unknown aquatic human? And are they even hot? So find out now as we dive into the myth, folklore, and fakery surrounding mermaids. Right here in the program, where you continue to learn to unlearn everything you knew. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm your host, Rus Ryan, and joining me as always is my co-host, Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
Hello, Russ.
And my co-host, Jude Prestia. Hello, Jude.
What's up, y'all?
Jude's back again, and soundboard engineer and producer, Rob Okey.
A fish.
Right.
Which is something large under the water. Thank you.
What's up, guys? What's happening,
Rob? Yeah. What's happened is that fish underwater that some thought was a mermaid, man, that we're just bleeding on. We're going on with it. Rob, you got your wish. This episode's for you, Rob. It's mermaids, man.
Yeah. I asked and the Instagram answered. I saw the hashtag mermaids were just flooding the Instagram. So I'm glad you answered the call because you're giving them what they want, man.
Yes, Rob got the huge response he wanted. The people have spoken. Jude, you got to be excited. We're glad to have you back for this.
Oh, I'm so into this. I've been wanting to cover the Lost episode since we started this.
Well, here it is. Here,
I am so amped for mermaids. It's all I've ever wanted to talk about. And dolphins.
All right, well, let's do it because they are a big part of this too. Let's talk about it now. Mermaids.
Underwater woman, underwater lady, no one on the shore will ever know what's in her heart. Fiercely alive.
Yes, tonight we'll be discussing one of the most ancient and well-known half-human, half-animal cryptid hybrids, mermaids. You got your wish, Rob. How does it feel?
Well, initially it felt good until I watched the thing that you made that you made us watch. Initially I felt pretty good about this, but I don't know how I feel anymore.
This one's for you. So let's get into mermaids. Let's get into a little bit of the folklore. One of the earliest recorded accounts of mermaids comes from the ancient Greek mythology and the sirens featured in Homer's The Odyssey. I mean, a lot of people know this. These sirens were originally half women, half bird creatures, but for some reason, over the centuries, they shifted to half woman, half fish type creatures that we now associate as mermaids. The tales of sirens leading men to them with their beautiful singing was incorporated into mermaid lore as well. While we mostly focus on mermaids, we got to say they do have male equivalents known as mermen, and as a species together, they're called the merfolk. But everyone just calls them mermaids. It's easier that way, right?
So much easier. Like what you picture, you know?
I'm a huge into Magic the Gathering, and for probably like almost a decade of my life, I would play primarily merfolk decks. I love merfolk.
All right. Amazing.
I mean, that's a solid endorsement right there, I guess. I don't have anything like that to bring to the table.
Well, my favorite Disney movie for a long time was The Little Mermaid, so I was excited about this topic, and I'm kind of feeling the same as Rob. Like, I don't know. I'm going to wait.
I think everyone has some kind of mermaid, like in pop culture, their youth that they associate with. I think about those mermaids in the Peter Pan, the old Disney cartoon.
Oh yeah, they were bitches.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that's my like main association as mermaids. But a little more about the history. These mysterious and sometimes sexy creatures have been documented in many ancient cultures. In ancient Mesopotamia, they were called the Kulitu, meaning fish woman. In British folklore, the mermaid was seen as an omen of bad luck that foretold disaster. In Irish lore, there's so much lore. The figure of Liban appears as a sanctified mermaid, but she was a human being transformed into a mermaid. And after 3 centuries, when Christianity came to Ireland, she was baptized, which is very nice of them. The Irish baptized their mermaid.
Okay. That seems strange to do to a mermaid, but
she's already in the water.
She's already in the water.
It made it quite easy. They baptize her
with sand or what? Can you bless the entire ocean?
I have no idea. There's other people that like their mermaids too, like the Isle of Man. Remember Jeff the Mongoose? I think he was from the Isle of Man, right?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
Well, there the mermaids are known as Ben-Vari, and they are considered more favorable towards humans than those of other regions, with various accounts of assistance, gifts, and rewards. And one story tells of a fisherman who carried a stranded mermaid back into the sea and was rewarded with the location of treasure. The Isle of Man, he's almost like their leprechaun.
I was going to say.
Mermaid leads you to treasure.
They're like a water leprechaun.
It's just so interesting how different cultures perceive them. Like one, they're bitches, and then in another country, they're evil, bad omens. Other ones are going to shipwreck you, and then these ones are giving you treasure.
Yeah, they're a little, they get up to some kind of naughtiness here, because another recounts a tale of a baby mermaid who stole a doll from a human little girl, but was rebuked by her mother and sent back to the girl with a gift of a pearl necklace to atone for the theft. So, there's some well-documented thefts among babies. Baby mermaids are stealing, but learning lessons and giving pearls away.
How did she get it? How did she steal it? If she's a mermaid, was this little girl hanging out by the water,
or inside of the water?
Was this mermaid flopping around? She flopped her way out of this little girl's room and took her toy. Like, what happened?
I'm thinking she was probably on the beach.
Yeah, she was teaching the doll how to swim.
You drop your doll in the water, that's mermaid territory. They can get that thing. And there's also a third story that tells of a fishing family that made regular gifts of apples to a mermaid and was rewarded with prosperity. I mean, I hope they weren't red delicious, right? Brian would not like that. Maybe that would anger the mermaids.
Sweet tangos only.
Yeah, shout out to the apple list.
Yeah, you don't get cool fruits and stuff in the sea. Like, I'm surprised they don't bring them more than just apples. But hey, apples for prosperity.
Yeah, they just get sea cucumbers.
Yeah.
That's like giving them gold, right?
Almost nobody has accepted this apple story of mine.
You're not buying the apple gift, whatever, these are mermaids, that's right.
I don't think a mermaid would want to eat an apple.
I don't know if they could.
Why not?
I don't think they would want to eat that. They would want to eat something like, they like fish. They're I don't think, or like seaweed.
So they should have brought him a hamburger.
That might hurt them. Like that, their body's not built to eat fruit.
There's no trees in the ocean.
That's why it's a treat, because it's new.
Yeah, but I think.
Well, what about corn? I think they could eat corn. Corn good.
Yeah, well, maybe corn.
Me like corn.
Me like corn. Corn is good.
And mermaid like apple. And there are also accounts of mermaid-related activity all throughout Europe, in China, Japan, Korea, Africa, the Caribbean. It's like every civilization in the past, they have some version of the mermaid floating around their history. And there are some very well-known encounters with the merfolk, other than Jude and his magic deck. And in 1493, sailing off the coast of Hispaniola, good old Christopher Columbus spotted 3 sirens or mermaids near the Canary Islands, which he said they were not as beautiful as they are represented due to some masculine features in their faces. But they are considered to be sightings of manatees. I think people have long debunked Christopher Columbus, right? We've all heard this tale.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he's not the most reliable source. I think
these people are from India. I'll call them Indians.
Or they could be unattractive mermaids, and then that's kind of labeling to call them manatees at this point. It's not.
Oh man,
I'm open to mermaids. I didn't even ask you. Are you guys open to the possibility of mermaids?
Fuck yeah,
I am open to mermaids.
I mean, I don't know.
I want them to be real so bad.
The ocean is treacherous, and the idea for there to be like humans out there with fins flopping around in the ocean, and they're like, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think it's happening.
Rob just doesn't want his doll stolen.
Yeah, that too. I did also have an encounter when I was a wee little child, and they stole my toy, my little Power Ranger toy, and I'm still pissed about that.
Stupid merfolk.
But you still have that pearl necklace.
Yeah, and they gave me a pearl necklace, and I was like, this is a shitty deal.
Deals get worse all the time. There are other notable sailors, such as Henry Hudson, Blackbeard the pirate. They've all encountered mermaids. And these sightings, they're often recounted and shared by sailors and pirates who believe that mermaids brought bad luck and they would bewitch them into giving up their gold and dragging them to the bottom of the sea. But lucky for us and lucky for Rob, mermaid sightings have persisted into the modern age. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, it saw a flap of mermaid sightings. Here it is, Dateline, August 2009. After dozens of people reported seeing a mermaid leaping out of Haifa Bay waters and doing aerial tricks, the Israeli coastal town of Kiryat Yam offered a $1 million reward for proof of its existence. And no word that bounty was ever claimed, but mermaids are jumping up there doing tricks.
What? I don't know.
That's the first time a flap has made sense as a word.
It came out and flapped. Did a legitimate flap.
Actually flapped.
Yeah. A double back flap is what it did.
There's been winged weirdy flaps, so I'm not going to
that's true. Yeah. No, right.
That is true. Mexico. They do flap those wings.
Well, flap is more than one, but so here we go. In February of 2012, work on 2 reservoirs in Zimbabwe stopped when workers refused to continue, stating that mermaids had hounded them away from the sites. It was reported by Samuel Sipipa Nkomo, the water resources minister. So we got in Zimbabwe, where we know there are aliens in there messing with their school kids already. Now mermaids are stopping their infrastructure projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they just, really needed a day off or a break, and they're like, you know what? Let's just tell them mermaids.
Or they screwed up the whatever they were building there. They messed the reservoir.
Yeah.
They're
building. It wasn't Rodney. It was the mermaid.
It was the mermaid made us mess up.
They probably do. Mermaids do kind of look like hippies, and we know that paranormal things do take the shape of hippies sometimes in Zimbabwe.
Hippies.
Remember, that's what the kids said that it looked like a hippie.
Man, those kids look like that was
that
pretty
it had hair
arid
like
where
a
they
hippie.
lived.
It looked like a hippie.
I don't see a mermaid getting out that far into Africa. That looked pretty arid where they were.
Yeah.
So around this time, we've got all these sightings. It's the 2011s. People are going crazy. Mermaid fever is at an all-time high, and it culminates in May of 2012 when the television network Animal Planet released a documentary called Mermaids, The Body Found. And so let's hear now the introduction of Mermaids, The Body Found.
As a scientist, I was never a believer in conspiracy theories. I believe Al-Qaeda was responsible for the 9/11 attacks. I believe we landed on the moon. And I believe Oswald shot JFK. No, to believe our government covered up these events requires proof. A conspiracy theory, like any theory, needs proof. So that's the first question I'd ask me. Where's your proof? In 1997, scientists from NOAA recorded a sound in the deep Pacific. It's thought to be organic in nature and has never been identified. It's called the bloop.
The bloop! We knew that the whooper was whooping. Now we have the mysterious bloop.
Yeah.
It's bloop.
Yeah. The bloop.
What a great scientific name they've given this.
I'd heard of the bloop before this somehow.
I've heard some bloops.
I've heard of. I remember when this happened.
I've heard some space bloops.
Well, just because it was like a weird thing. When this is real. This is real. The bloop is real. 100%. There's no question about that. The bloop is real.
Unlike those other conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I believe Al-Qaeda is responsible for 9/11. I believe that, all that other shit that guy said. I'm totally a believer.
That Oswald shot JFK. Totally.
Everything that I'm told.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything. There's one thing in my life. It's my bloop. But the blooping, remember, this thing is called Mermaids, the Body Found. The blooping isn't the only evidence they present in this. There's more.
In the early 2000s, it was proved that the Navy beached whales while testing sonar weapons. For years, the Navy denied that they were responsible for these beachings. These are facts. And in some of the incidents, there were reports of something else washing up with the whales. In 2004, 2 boys were the first to arrive on a mass whale beaching in Washington State. They captured it on a cell phone. They claimed they saw a body. And they went on record claiming they saw a body. That official record was later changed, and the Navy took the remains of what the boys found. I know this because I was part of the team investigating that beaching and what the Navy did that day. And I believe I know what it is that they took.
It's so confusing already. We've gone from a bloop to now 2 boys. They have found a body amongst beached whales. And they talk about the Navy is doing some kind of experiment with sonar, and it's causing the beaching of whales. And then they had to shut this program down. Is this what's going on?
Yeah, it does sound pretty horrific if that sure is. Like, what, are they just playing like really bad music down there?
Well, they're tying together now the bloop with this phenomenon of these whales washing up.
Have we been specific as to what the bloop is? The bloop is a weird sound that was heard on sonar and recorded, and it doesn't sound like any kind of a species that uses sonar that is known. I mean,
yes.
They can only call it the bloop.
I would have thought it was aliens, yeah. I kind of vaguely remember this, but I don't remember that many details about it.
Yeah. I remember it not sounding like a bloop.
Well,
I don't even know what the bloop. A bloop is like something from a cartoon. Like, it's a really bad name to put on. It's just onomatopoeia. Yeah. So what's going on here is now the Navy is brought in, and they're doing some kind of weird experiment with sonar, and there's being these mass beachings of animals. And on the scene of one of these mass beachings was NOAA researcher Brian McCormick, who had seen this kind of event before. He had found whales, and their ears are bleeding, and their internal organs are crushed because they're being driven somehow to the shallow waters by this sonar attack. So let's hear from a woman named Rebecca Davis. Wait, what's that?
Should we just also discuss the video that they just showed that they spoke about?
Oh, yeah.
Like, from an audio perspective, and without having actually seen this thing, first off, what are we talking about right now? What are we listening to? What is this from, Russ?
We are talking about Mermaids, the Body Found, but we don't really know what's going on.
Okay, because I just feel like we should probably clear that up off the bat so that people don't think that was just like a news report or something like that.
Because
it could be.
They're definitely trying to make it.
It could. It's pretty convincing when you listen to it in audio form. And the video that they showed,
you can't really tell in the beginning when they show it. It just looks like some kind of weird hand or something on a beach. It doesn't really do anything. It's hard to tell what's going on with this.
I noticed the kids shot it in horizontal view, thankfully. You know, they weren't holding their phone vertically, which is the worst.
Option.
When he had a flip
Even though
phone,
they didn't have smartphones during that time, too. It was supposed to be a shitty phone camera, but they ended up putting a weird filter on.
It looked pretty good.
A regular
but he held it.
Yeah, it looked too good for that time. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Forget that right now. We got a sonar attack happening. Here's a woman named Rebecca Davis, and she's going to tell us that this Brian guy, he discovered more than just bleeding whale ears. He made a shocking discovery.
What we were seeing was consistent with blunt force trauma. There were circular lesions on the samples, clear evidence of damage. Brian had an immediate theory: infrasound. Very powerful, ultra-low frequency sound waves that could theoretically be weaponized and potentially be used to devastating effect. They would slam into living tissue with incredible speed and incredible force. Those slides showed evidence of catastrophic impact injury that we believed was caused by a new kind of Navy sonar. A sonic blast that did more than just scare whales into the shallows. This sonar seemed to kill them.
This is about mermaids. This whole thing is a long tease. It's a super sonar. It's going to kill whales. What's going on?
Yeah, what is the point of making this weapon? Like, who's it supposed to be used on?
The whales.
Or maybe
our greatest enemies.
Or maybe
whales.
The sonar was created to fight the mermaid threat that could possibly be just swimming around.
They're coming to take our dolls, you guys. We need to kill them.
The Navy has sworn to protect dolls.
Sworn to protect Doll Island.
Doll Island is a
Doll Island.
A hot spot for mermaid.
Good call, Jude.
So they're pinning against each other in this. The Navy with their supersonic whatever they're doing to the poor whales, and the group NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, and NOAA has these buoys in the area that record whatever this attack was. Whatever happened to all these whales on the beach, NOAA's recording it with their secret buoy that records things. So that researcher Brian, he goes and analyzes the audio, and he makes another shocking discovery.
Well, first there was the sound of the whale vocalizations, which we expected. And then there was what we now understand to be the priming of the sonar weapon. And then there was a moment of silence. And this proved to be the calm before the storm, because then it was bam. It was pretty awful to listen to. Brian was so preoccupied with cataloging this sonic blast that he almost missed what else was there. There was another sound on the recording, an animal call, and we realized that this was a bloop signature.
The bloop is back, and it sounds awful. So somehow, whatever the bloop is, this mysterious sound is involved in this sonic attack against our whales in Washington State.
Yeah, then it was bam.
Did you hear what was like underneath the tone? It's kind of, if you listen hard, it's like, you know, it's got like a little Sasquatch thing going on.
Like water Sasquatch.
There's like a Sasquatch call hidden underneath there.
A couple weeks ago, Bigfoot learned how to make wings and fly around, and now he's got some scuba
Bigfoot?
shit. Yeah.
Yep, this is all big feet. It's just adapting to other places.
That actually reminded me of those recordings from hell from Russia. You remember those?
Yeah.
The well from hell.
Play soundboard 1. This is the bloop, but it sounds like hell. Yeah, the bloop. The bloop's a scary void.
Always freaks me out.
The well to hell, yeah.
Yeah, the ocean is kind of hell.
Yeah, this is the sounds of, this is wet hell. This is the sounds of wet hell. Let's hear more about how important this bloop sound is.
The same creature that NOAA had recorded back in 1997, but in this case, our recording was much longer. It was the most complex, intricate animal call I'd ever heard, and we had no idea what it made the sound. All we knew was that a creature that had only been heard once in human history had just resurfaced.
Resurfaced, very clever. Yeah, this thing's been out of the sea game since 1997. This unknown vocalization, it's been recorded again at this event, the bloop.
The bloop, really? A lot of shit happened around this bloop. Apparently there was a weapon going off that day also, and there was a lot of stuff happening on bloop day.
And
International
one
bloop
of the other great things in this that isn't really bloop related is they show a video they call the Beaufort tape. Do you guys remember this? This was a video. I guess it became a viral video, but it looks like they're on a submarine and a hand goes up against the porthole window, and it's like it looks like something swims off real quick. What did you guys think of that video?
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
It looked like it came from maybe some kind of Michael Bay film. And like that's just the beginning.
Are you really asking if something looked real in this documentary that we're watching right now? Because
it looked
so far nothing.
So you started off with the bloop being real. You think this is real?
They're doing the controverse thing where they're taking real life events and they're adapting it into this fucking story for this thing that we watched, or this whatever this is called, Mermaids, the Body Found, or whatever. And so
it's Mermaids, Monsters Among Us.
If you take enough real life things and you mention them around bullshit things, all of a sudden the bullshit things seem slightly more tangible and believable. And I think this story is literally, they've surrounded mermaids with so many things, like the bloop. What else?
Beaching whales,
exactly.
Sonar weapons.
Yeah. Sonar weapons. We know that they have sonar weapons. So it's like if you surround it with enough of this shit, eventually you're kind of like, maybe there is like another mystery hidden beneath all of this, you know? And
okay.
Until the video.
This video's
totally
fake. This video's super fake, and it's like everything else in this documentary.
So it's fake as blue.
So that's what you think. You might think that about the Beaufort tapes here, but let's hear what this anonymous guy has to say.
It's no surprise that the Beaufort video was immediately branded a fake. The Navy tells us it's not real, so it's not real. Whenever a leak happens, the military has a way of using its influence to make the general public believe what they want them to believe. What I can't tell you is that I've seen a creature in the Navy's possession. We took it after the first test in Washington State. I was on the beach that day, but we weren't the first ones there.
Yeah, see, the Navy can bury anything. You're just a Navy bootlicker at this point. According to this guy, even the viral sensation Beaufort video, even that thing can get released, taken away by the Navy.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
I think, yeah, Rob, I'm going to agree with you where they're trying so hard to make this thing sound plausible that they're even kind of debunking their own shit first, to like a Ghost Adventures thing. Like, no. See, we say this. Some of this stuff is fake, but
the people who probably made the fake things that were like, this is awesome. Like, this thing's like people, right? Like, I'm getting way more clicks of this. They put it in this movie and this documentary on the Animal Planet.
I don't.
Yeah, dude.
That's my brother-in-law swimming outside that thing. I can't believe it. Like, people think he's a mermaid. Like.
I don't believe that this was ever a viral video. I don't think that that's true at all. I think that they made this video for this documentary.
Oh,
it had like
100%.
4,000 views before this documentary.
I'm sure.
It's viral.
I'm sure it did.
They just had a computer that was like cycling through it. Like it was those were automated views.
This video doesn't exist on the internet.
Oh, you think it's just a creation of this?
Yes, this video was created by it was created by the same producers.
The Navy keeps taking that thing down,
man.
They keep striking it for all kind of stuff in there. Someone keeps putting copyright music under it, and they keep striking it every time. This way, it never stays. The Navy's always watching.
Sure.
And after this incident,
Rihanna
dropping the bloop on there.
Yeah. They don't want us to know about that. That was bloop. That's why you can't find a lot about the bloop either.
They're like, bloop that. You need to bloop that.
All mermaid evidence has been blooped from the internet, according to this guy at least. But after this incident in Washington State, beachings of whales started occurring all over the world. And it started being sharks. Even dolphins were washing up. And it would become even more baffling to the scientists.
In some of these events, not only were there reports of bodies being found, but something else. These had been reported before. Not bodies, but spears. For years, deep-sea fishermen all over the world have found them. Found them in fish caught in the open ocean.
Yes, spears!
That's weird.
Why
are they losing entire spears?
And it could be Aquaman, perhaps. Man, what do you guys think? Who's using spears in the sea, and they're finding them all over the place? How come no one has ever heard of this before?
Right? Sometimes when you open up a tuna can and you get like a scale or something, sometimes you get pieces of spears.
Sometimes
in there.
Your Cinnamon Toast Crunchy got shrimp in there, but
yeah, exactly.
Merfolk.
How would you even throw a spear underwater?
No, you just go up and stab it, and
arm.
grab it
Like
in your
a harp.
hand.
So
that's more like
You're a merman.
That's just like a knife. That's like a prison weapon, more of like a.
It's just a little
shank.
ocean.
That's really what that is. There, it's more of a shank.
Like it's like a halberd.
When I hear spear,
you don't throw it.
I'm thinking,
Yeah, you're thinking like a javelin.
I'm thinking Mandalorian. The Beskar spear. I'm thinking like a weapon.
No, this is not. This is a merman or mofo
All I gotta
spear.
say.
Oh, okay.
Is like this, whoever is hunting, those people suck at hunting. They lost so many spears, like where it's still in the fish. Like, why are you so bad at this?
Yeah.
How hard would it be to make
trying,
Drea?
Drea.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe she.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
maybe they were just like training.
That's like, if with that logic, that's being like if someone shoots someone with a gun, they don't take the bullets out. You're just like, man, You can even take the bullets out of them, dude.
Well, okay, but you're not supposed to reuse the bullets. You're supposed to reuse a spear. I would
probably
imagine.
get interrupted doing something else. It's probably really busy under the ocean. A shark came out of nowhere, and they're like, oh no. But they get more
true. All the blood.
They back up the spear theory even more. They go talk to this German fisherman, and he's seen the spears inside the fish, and he said he even snapped a very blurry picture of what could be a mermaid. Or like a stick floating in the water. It's really hard to tell. This guy had a very blurry photo. One of the worst cryptid photos I've ever seen. And we heard before, we got the Navy. They have shut down any investigation of this, just like they do those videos on YouTube. They're pulling all evidence. So those NOAA researchers, they try and further analyze the 2004 bloop recording. So they bring in an expert. They bring in the wolf. This guy's going to crack the code. Here is Dr. Rodney Webster and his bloop analysis.
I noticed that there were some pitch changes in the bloop at certain parts of the recording. So I ran a spectrogram analysis of the data and in the frequencies that were above the range of human hearing. And this is what I found. This is it at original speed with the whale sounds removed. I then slowed the recording down into the range of human hearing. Here it is at 1/3 of its original speed. Multiple individuals, literally thousands of different signifiers, at least half dozen individual voice prints. What you see here is language. They're talking to one another.
What? There's a lot of bloops detected. They are playing it so deadly serious in this. Could this be a real show?
I'm not going to say.
It's
on
terrible.
Animal
Planet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie.
Well, I don't know what's going on over at Animal Planet. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. Who is approving
It's animals. This is about animals.
Who let this out?
This is an underwater animal, an unknown creature animal, maybe of legend, maybe real. And they're going to make it real for you. Because you heard that this voice is so complex that they're hearing the bloop and this underwater language that is being spoken. They start to theorize about what could be the cause of these bloops.
Our theory was this was a new species of dolphin. But there's another theory we should have considered sooner, the aquatic ape theory. It's a theory about us, really, about where we come from. And I know it's always been controversial, but now I think there's really something to it. Why are we so different from other terrestrial animals? According to the theory, it's because there was a time when early humans spent much of their lives in the sea, and the traits that make us so different from other land animals are a legacy from this period. We can control our breathing like marine mammals, and hold our breath longer than any other land animal. The human record for breath holding is nearly 20 minutes. That's almost as long as a dolphin can dive. Compared to our closest relatives, the apes, we have a much more flexible spine. And we have partial webbing between our fingers and toes that they don't have. These are features for an aquatic environment. Why have them unless to help us swim?
Aquatic ape theory. And I've heard about the stoned ape theory. I wasn't familiar with this. This is like real sea monkeys.
The idea that monkeys was the cause of this incident was totally ridiculous.
Especially this time.
Thank
Especially
you.
this fucking time.
Yeah, you know what? I just didn't like his idea about, like, why do we have webbing between our fingers to help us swim? Do you guys swim like this with your hands out?
I do. That's how I swim.
I got a lot of webbing.
We used to a long time ago, but we started going on land. But we're originally semi-aquatic creatures. And he laid out a lot of points there that make us all think.
Yeah.
But there's...
it really made me think. Like, I became an aquatic ape theorist.
Just now,
segment. I was
this
like,
is the birth of an aquatic ape theory.
I was like, damn.
That little monologue he gave, it's like that Jaden Smith series that was out where he like says all the trippy things and like blows your mind. It is kind of like that because he made me a believer in mermaids in a few minutes there. I don't know, like I never thought about it. I think that's kind of what it was. That I never really thought about it from that angle. I was like, maybe, but I don't know.
Maybe aquatic apes.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's sexy.
Babies, they wail. Like, they get born in water tanks. Like, they're ready to swim right out the womb.
All right, hold on. Before we get too far into baby talk.
Sorry.
No. A lot of those points that he said, they make sense to me, but not this next one.
And human babies hold their breath underwater automatically. They instinctively know how to swim. whereas a baby chimp or gorilla would drown.
How do they know that?
What are you talking about? You want to put that theory to the test? Babies suck at swimming. What are you talking about? Humans are natural swimmers.
No, I've heard that before. I've actually heard that before.
I've seen videos too where like, a lady will just kind of like but just kind of launch the baby a little bit they're in like a pool of water and the baby does start to swim, but some of them totally
my kids all drop like rocks,
videos
man.
where they
What
just
is she talking about? My kid and the gorilla would both be down there. It's like,
I saw this movie called Curse of La Llorona, and kids can swim great. Little babies can swim great from what I've seen in the river.
I think
like
that they were
6 kids drowned in that movie. Even those kids suck at swimming.
They should have held their breath. Is what I'm thinking.
No, that's true though. I've heard that before. That babies can swim for some reason. Like if
you were so on board, off board on this crap.
I know. I don't know what I believe anymore, man. But babies,
that just shows Rob is a true, like a healthy skeptic. He's gonna weigh all the options, and if he thinks babies can swim, I guess all babies will float and swim.
I don't know. See, I'm just as curious about why babies know how to swim first thing when they're born. And also, how did they find out that gorillas and chimpanzees can't swim? Someone's out there drowning chimpanzee and gorilla babies. As soon as they're born, they're like, let's see if it can swim. And they're just dropping it in the water like, oh, can't swim. Get the other type of monkey. Let's see if that one can swim.
Reminded me of... Like, if you shoot a monkey, it's going to fall down and die.
This season,
if you put a monkey in the water, it's going to drown.
This season, season 3, no animal is safe from us. So we've already we've taken the whole zoo out. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was just going with that, like would Nirvana lie? Like, that? Like, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Babies get
if you give it enough money to swim after.
Like, they know how to do. I don't know what they do after that. Like, once you take them out of the water, they probably freak out.
Proof
I have
there.
No fucking idea, but
all right.
Then they choke.
Can come out of the water.
Yeah, the Nevermind cover is proof of it.
It took you reminding me. You reminding me of the Nevermind cover. All right, I'm on board. Babies are great swimmers. Throw them in the water. It's like La Llorona.
You're like, I forgot.
Wherever you go.
Well, money's a great motivator.
Mm-hmm. So since Rob seems to be being swayed, he's going to give some more arguments by stating that at one point, a portion of the brown bear community split and they evolved into a separate subspecies. The polar bears that we know now were once brown bears that just split off. And which leads to this great bear fact.
Polar bears are capable of holding their breath for minutes at a time underwater. They've even developed webbing in their front paws to help them swim. They are currently, before our eyes, evolving into marine mammals. And if this is happening to polar bears now, why couldn't this have happened to the human line at some point in our evolution?
All right, so, some apes did the same thing. They split for adventure in the high seas, the abundance of food. The bears are evolving in front of our eyes into aquatic creatures. How come we didn't do that a long time ago?
Because we didn't have to.
We did. That's where mermaids come from.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly. Look, it makes sense to a degree, like the potential, but the things that they're pointing to, not quite, because you don't have a fully underwater like bear that lives underwater.
I was kind of going to say something similar, where like, the divergence isn't as intense. It's not as crazy of a divergence like for a bear. But then if you think about it, it is kind of, because they went from living in like the forest to primarily living in the snow and on like glaciers and shit, or wherever the fuck polar bears live. Like in igloos. I don't know.
In the water.
Well, they drink
in the water,
they drink Coca-Cola though, so they still they're not gonna want to go fully into the water. They have the Coca-Cola. Same reason why I agree. Why would there be a fully aquatic human? Like I could see being partially like amphibious, kind of like how we are now.
Imagine it. I can imagine it very well, because in this thing, Mermaids, A Body Among Us, this thing is all like interspersed with showing the evolution of how this could happen, where basically a primitive ape man just like looks at a volcano explode. He looks at the water and goes, well, guess I'm going in here. And they all they go in the water. It's like Bigfoot goes in the water, swims around, and then they just show him like on a rock, like in a cartoon where you're on a little island with a palm tree. That's what they show them doing. And they're just in there. They're learning to just eat the fish and making tools. I guess they're making tools.
The transition is out of nowhere, because it's like literally there's a very expensive looking shot of a volcano going off where I was like, they gave these guys money to make this shit. It looked pretty good, actually, that one shot. And
it was good.
And the cavemen people, like, they were pretty creepy looking. Like their version, the artistic rendition of...
They were not CG. These were not CG. We'll get to bad CG later.
These are practical Bigfoots. They're like reaching into the shore, picking up like an oyster and cracking it into their mouths. I'm like, someone did that
with like demon faces, though. They had like demonic evil faces.
They were so hard to look at. I hated this.
They literally, one of them turns around and just like sees the volcano going off and just walks down the beach, and then all of a sudden they're just mermaids. They're mermaid fucking.
No, they didn't become instantly mermaids. That took millions.
Hey guys, we're gonna evolve.
They jumped millions of years, each different iteration. You'll see. We'll get to those other guys, but for now they're just Bigfoots floating around on a little island and they're eating fish. But back to our time, there was another major finding in the world, and it came from South Africa, where another whale beaching incident occurred and another bloop is recorded. And this bloop stands out from the other bloop because this time the bloops and the dolphins are talking back and forth to each other. And researcher Brian, he heads down there ASAP. He's got to get to South Africa, and he's going to find evidence inside of a dead shark of an unidentified species. And this thing definitely wasn't a dolphin, but it talked to dolphins, and it is possibly an evolved aquatic ape. So this is the body found. This is how they find the body. It's a bunch of looks like fish pieces and bones that they found inside of a shark.
Were you guys disgusted when that dude just like went up and fingered the spear hole in the shark that they got it out of?
Yeah.
He just like went up and was just like, yeah.
That's what you do.
Dude, I was disgusted for most of this documentary, quote unquote.
Yeah, they have a huge shark dead hanging that this is where they find the body of this mermaid creature that they think is. They pull it out of this shark, and there is a spear hole, and it what was it? It was a stinger of like a manta ray.
The stingray stinger.
Stingray stinger.
Sometimes stingrays and sharks fight, but
they were like they were specific to say that great whites don't eat stingrays. So
right, they just
these things should not be near each other, and the fact that the stingray, whatever you want to call this thing, I guess a spear, was still stuck into the great white shark.
Ew.
Yeah, and we're gonna.
But they put his finger in it.
Hey, that's what you do.
You see a hole, you just.
You guys are no researchers.
You got to check to see how deep it is, you know? With your finger. That's what you always do that anytime you see an open wound.
It's instinct.
Oh, man. And so this is the body. They have the body. So we've got to know a little more about how these things are evolving. I don't know why this is a big part of it. Because they started out earlier. They're hairy bipeds. They're in the water. And then they cross-cut to over 1 million years later, and they have lost most of their hair. And this next step that we're going to hear, they have just straight up fins now, and they look like our classic mermaids. And I love this part because, much like SpongeBob, these aquatic apes, they have undersea pals.
A creature that once hid in shadows now swims in open sea. They are not alone here. They are bonded with another intelligent being. It is a bond of friendship. For now, they play together. In time, they will hunt together. Their ancestors slept in trees. They now swim through them. Soon, their transition would be complete. Like the dolphins, they would belong to the sea.
The dolphins, they are bros with the merfolk, and that's what we're hearing on the bloop is the dolphins and the mermaids are chatting it up undersea and they're recording it. You gotta love this.
Yeah, chatting it up, all right. Yeah, the way you cut those clips, it sounded so much like he was gonna say, like, they play together. Soon they will hunt together, and like their ancestors, they will sleep together.
Yes,
they will
like
have
I was
sex
so concerned
as well.
Yeah.
Dolphins love that shit.
They do,
right? So how come there's not? Maybe that's how come they.
I mean,
that's what a manatee is.
That could possibly be.
You know, this so far makes sense.
That's incredible.
This so far. This makes sense.
It is so incredible.
So we got to realize now we've got the body of this thing. And like I said, it's just a bunch of parts from a shark. So they have to get more experts. They got to identify some of these bones. And then they figure out that the bones are actually a hand and that this other part is a pelvis and that this thing walked on land. The bloop is us. We are the bloop. We are the mermaids. And they also get their explanation for all those spears and tools that those fishermen find.
All those tales of fish found with spears in them, all the fishermen stories of spears found in the open ocean, this is what made them. We have something that makes tools. This thing has figured out how to disarm a stingray, use its spine to kill fish. So they are intelligent hunters, but are they hunted? How would these creatures have evolved to survive alongside the most formidable predators in the ocean?
Yeah, there it is, the stingray barb. And the thing they wrap that around with is that they also found something, and they're like, oh, this is the handle for it. And they put it together, and that was so unbelievable that they actually found inside the blade that was in the shark, the handle was in the shark's body.
Yeah, what would that even be made out of?
Who knows what they're doing down there?
That narration just made it sound like they pick up stingrays and put them into sharks.
Right? Like they have some kind of weird workshop.
They learned how to use the spear thing. I'm like, what?
Wouldn't they have evolved to like be able to, I don't know, spear hands? That just doesn't make sense to be using tools
They
underwater.
have some strange underwater techniques that they use. They show some even weirder shit later on in this documentary that I was like, what the hell? But I mean, I guess they're making this idea that these things create weapons underwater, which is a funny idea. Like,
yeah, where do they store them? You know, like they haven't shown us the merfolk houses or anything. Like they just, I would imagine if you're living in underwater kind of territory, you're gonna have something that's like
Chewbacca has a bandolier. Chewbacca has a bandolier.
Yeah, well, Chewbacca's a land mammal.
He's a space ape. These are aquatic apes. They would figure out some kind of way to hold stuff on them.
Well, Drea, do dolphins have houses?
No, but they're dolphins.
Well, they don't have hands. They don't
use tools and weapons. They're not.
They're not literally people with tails floating around who are smart.
They're not using weapons. That's my whole point.
Some might say that they are.
But we did see that one video of the aquatic ape living like he was in a cave, and then you know, like a shark came out and like ate the dolphins. And showed like he's learning how to hunt.
Do remember seeing that animation of that sea monkey looking mermaid?
It was swimming Bigfoot is what it was. It was really actually kind of cool.
They look exactly like sea monkeys on the box. When I was a kid, when I used to get them, they would look just like those little guys, those little sea monkeys.
Yeah. I think that the people working on this were very much inspired by the sea monkey boxes.
For sure.
Or that inspiration comes from the sea and Tales of Mermaids, as we're learning tonight.
Mm-hmm. Or they are little mermaids.
So now they have this body thing. Now these few parts have got like a tail, looks like, I don't know, like it looks really gross. They put all these dead parts together, and they have to get another expert. She does a reconstruction on what the skull looked like and how its brain functioned. And when you know it, they make another amazing discovery.
The concave shape in the front of the skull indicated that it had a melon, a specialized mass of fatty tissue that enables dolphins and other whales to echolocate. It wasn't a blowhole. This wasn't used for breathing. It was used to channel sound. The skull reconstruction proved it could do this, that this creature could echolocate. This was the creature that had made the sound. The calls had never been identified.
Okay, yeah, we get it. This is the bloop. Mermaids are the bloop. We know. We assumed that the first time when you put all this together, and he's still trying to prove it.
Oh, man. This was the thing that pissed me off the most about this whole show, was that they are showing the footage and everything, and they're leading you to these conclusions, and then take forever to be like, oh, by the way, we think that this is like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
obviously.
Duh.
Did anybody else think that he was just saying that it had a big head when he said it had a melon? It was like, this thing had a melon of a head. It was like, that was my thing. It's the thing on a dolphin's head. I didn't realize that. I didn't know that's what it was called.
I was just going to bring that up. I was like, did he call it a melon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
juicy melon on his head.
Yeah, that's just work chat. No. And yeah, you guys are right. This guy can't stress enough that this pile of fish parts and hands is the bloop sound maker. So make sure we know it again, just for good measure.
We now had no doubt that this was the animal that had made the bloop. This was the same animal that was on the 1997 bloop recording. This was the same animal that was on the 2004 Washington State recording. And it was the same animal that was on the South African recording, the one that talked to the dolphins.
No, I think he's just like shoehorning the word bloop in there wherever he can. I don't even want to clip it. I'm so sick of it.
This is the animal that made the bloop on the. It sounds like poop. I'm sorry, I'm immature. It made a little bloop on the carpet.
And I'm sorry. This was called Mermaids, the body found. We're almost an hour into this documentary, and I'm so happy to hear it. Play the next clip because they're finally going to say the one word we've all been waiting to hear that isn't bloop.
We had just found a creature of fable. I mean, that's what we were looking at. All of us had been wanting to say it for days, probably weeks.
Okay, come on.
But
Come on.
Scientists aren't supposed to believe in fairy tales. And what we were looking at was a mermaid.
He said it.
Oh, no, you
said it.
Really?
That's why we're
that's
here.
What it.
Oh, what a climax!
So glad he finally figured that out.
It was a water monkey.
That's a jump.
Aquatic ape.
Aquatic ape. Yeah, that's like the jump scare of a reveal of just talking. It's like a boring story jump scare.
Mermaid.
Oh,
I did.
I'm glad they scored it because it really needed that dramatic effect. You know.
It needed the punctuation.
I usually cut out.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know to be excited.
I
about
usually
it.
cut out a lot of the boring silence, but that was the only silence that actually led up to anything interesting. So I thought
it was.
That's 90% of this. It's just stunted talk. I've cleaned this thing up so much, like I had to do for a Blackwell Ghost, which reminded me a lot of. This is one of the harder ones to even put together in any kind of listenable clip. But we finally heard the word mermaids. Mermaids have finally been established in this, and they show some poorly filmed videos. They show a video where there's a fishing vessel, and they're pulling up a net, and a hand reaches out and it grabs their fisherman. It almost is Signs level kind of jump scare little video. It was kind of cool though. Is that a real one?
No.
Oh, totally.
No.
When you brought up Signs, that's literally like it was straight out of Signs. Like when you see like that alien like walking through the field and it's like looks to the right, looks at you. That was what that hand in the net was.
Yeah, dude, it's funny because those aliens looked like they would have been aquatic, but they did not.
They
like
don't
the
like
water.
It definitely.
Spoiler alert!
It stuck to that M. Night Shyamalan formula of only showing the monster for like 3 frames, only showing the creature for like at the most like 3 frames. That you just see its hand, but even.
And you just
this
go
was
like,
also shot with the same camera that they filmed the rest of this documentary with. It was shot with a phone. That was the most obvious.
Nope.
They even use effects to try to make it look like it was distorted.
They tried to make it look real bad. They tried to make it look like
there's like these video artifacts.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, it's like I've never seen any video
broadcasted from the moon. Like what is this?
The fisherman.
You know what my favorite tell is though when it comes to like if a video is real or not is why the fuck were they filming it?
Exactly.
Because they're getting a huge load of fish. That's a big deal. These guys want to show it off.
Hey, look, we never get fish on a fishing boat. This is weird. You should video this
all day. Is pull up fucking nets of fish. This one net. They were like, "Let's gotta film this one. This one we're gonna film."
Bro, get it out.
I mean, maybe they thought that they saw it coming up. They're like, "Get your phone. There's something weird in this one." I don't. Maybe
that could. Yeah.
But even that, I'm giving it more backstory that like it. They don't even get that.
Why do they even have those cameras?
A guy,
on there,
some German dude saying like, "Yo, it's got a hand."
Oh man, this.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if there was some German dude who like did the video and he was in the water and he had to get caught by the net.
Look at this fish.
Catch me in the net. Pull me up. Toots mean. So. After getting past this great fisherman video, they cover the whole history of mermaid and merfolk folklore. They even show some of these ancient Egyptian glyphs that show mermaids fighting against people with arrows. So they make the big leap.
So
they make this huge leap. Those look, just they were painted last week.
I actually looked that up to see, like, is that real?
Was it?
Yeah.
No. There's the thing called like the Cave of the Swimmers in Egypt. Like they set it up right. There is a cave of like cave paintings of people swimming in that area of Egypt, but none of that merfolk shit.
But they're not mermaids fighting
It's like
them?
people doing like a belly flop into the water.
Well, it's been erased.
The Egyptians, not good swimmers.
They cut off their tails.
They don't want us to know about it, so that's why that part is it's redacted.
The U.S. Navy.
They took whiteout to it. Yeah.
The U.S. Navy deep in Egypt, taking care of business, and but they just jumped to the conclusion that the merfolk and the humans, they just didn't get along, and the merfolk just dipped out on us, and that's why we don't see them anymore. Friendship ended with humans. Now dolphins are their BFFs. Now let's not forget, there's a sinister plan going on with the Navy and their super sonar. They don't want any of this information getting out, and the Navy always gets what they want, and they want those bloop bones.
We knew what they had. We knew what they had before they knew what they had. We've been trailing McCormick's NOAA team since 2004. We followed them to South Africa. We knew what they found was the same species we'd taken off that beach. They had evidence that would bring down the operation. They had physical evidence that could stop us. Do you think we were going to let that happen? But they were advancing our research, so we let them continue for a while.
The police confiscated everything. All the lab tests, all of the files. the skull reconstruction we'd brought back. And they took the body.
Oh, that sucks. The body's no longer among us. And yeah, the Navy kind of tricked him. They got him to do all this research, and then he swooped in and took it and to really took advantage of Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the part of the movie, like if this was made into, an actual movie. No, like when these are, this is the bad guys, and they, used, it feels like a plot that's been written out.
The E.T.
It feels like a movie.
It does
exactly.
seem to have some sort of a plot, an underlying plot, actually, that unfolds.
Yeah, the Navy's...
Yeah, and all of these actors are such good...
Went through all this research. They figured out what the bloop was over and over. We know it's people, mermaids. This is basically primates walked into the ocean a long time ago. They ducked out. Then they fought the Egyptians. I don't know when that happened. And then they were no longer friends. But now dolphins are their best friends. And if you're wondering why the Navy is so hell-bent on covering up the existence of mermaids, well, Paul Robertson is about to tell us.
We prove this, and they have to stop the testing. They have to acknowledge that they have a sonar weapon. And who knows what else they'd have to acknowledge.
All that we had left, the only thing that we had left that they hadn't seized were the bloop recordings. They couldn't take those. Those were already a matter of public record. We were so focused on everything that we'd lost that the government had taken that we didn't realize that everything we needed was in those recordings.
You can take my fish bones in hand, but you'll never take my bloop. All you need is the bloop.
I like that ending bloop there. That sounded creepy. Like someone's just screaming underwater.
I like that, Russ. All you need is bloop.
All you do, yeah.
All you need is bloop.
But all their other stuff is gone, so they have to really pump it up now. Like, well, no, the one thing we had before is still great. So here's their reaction to all those years of research and evidence just being taken away from the brave members of NOAA.
The feeling was like something out of Orwell. This was Big Brother. They were rewriting history, basically writing this creature out of existence. And the question I asked myself is, why? Are they protecting their testing? Are they keeping the creatures for themselves? Are they testing the creatures? We don't know. We still don't know.
Yeah, we may never know. I think we got another one for our long string of these. Play Soundboard 4. I got a new one.
We don't know. We still don't know.
We don't know, part 2. We still don't know.
I think it's part 3.
That is. We don't know. We still don't know.
We have enough to make a whole song of just people saying we don't know at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that's it. With the only evidence of the existence of mermaid left just is being the bloop, they decide to visit those 2 kids that filmed that video on the beach from the beginning in 2004 in Washington State. And the kids tell them that the Navy said that it was just a decomposed seal. Navy tried to cover them up too. Nothing to see here. But luckily, one of those boys, he had made a terrible drawing. And he showed it to the researchers, and it kind of looked like a mermaid. And they're like, yep, that's pretty good. This kid definitely saw it.
This kid definitely plays magic.
He had a piece of evidence that was even better than his drawing, and he actually was able to hide that from the Navy. Let's hear about it.
And that's not all we saw. The boy's mom agreed to show it to us. They hadn't shown it to anybody. The Navy had not thought to check the kid's camera phone. Now, that's not the first time the military's gotten caught by a camera phone, but back then, most people didn't even have them. I doubt the investigating officer even bothered to check it. This kid had kept it. He'd kept it all that time.
There it is, the shitty phone camera again. The Navy would have never thought a kid would ever have a cell phone.
They never do.
Yeah, well, of course.
I had a shitty phone camera.
And this is the big conclusion. The big conclusion, Drea, turns out to be the cell phone footage. We finally get to see it. And the dramatic, shitty cell phone camera footage is just a jump scare. And the mermaid turns into La Llorona. It pops up like a monster on the beach. That's what this is. This whole movie led to a single documentary, whatever this thing is. It led up to this one moment. Terrible.
That was truly the Shyamalan moment.
They do that thing too where they show it in slow motion afterwards to be like, look, so you can see it better. But it's like, now I can just see that it's even faker. It looks even faker in slow motion. Why did you do that?
What?
Showed your cards, guys.
Let me show you frame by frame how bad this is done.
Yeah. Talk about a blooper reel.
Yeah, really.
The kid drew literally.
Thanks, Drea.
The kid drew a picture of what looks exactly like The Shape of Water, like one of the posters for The Shape of Water, where it's just like the creature looking with his hand on the glass, you know,
looking for romance. Yeah.
You didn't like The Shape of Water?
It freaked me
you
out,
didn't like
man.
that movie about the lady who fucks a merman?
I don't like interspecies fucking. No, I can't say I'm a fan.
I liked that movie.
Go ahead and defend it.
I think I'd like it less after seeing this, because the mermaids in this, there were no hot mermaids. There was no sexy mermaids in this. No, they didn't look like none of them were ribbed or had a rack or nothing. Like, it was all just like they were completely flat. They just looked like fish people. Too much.
That
like
was
fish
something
people.
I was thinking. I made a specific note about this, that all mammals drink milk. None of those merfolk had nipples.
They have no nipples.
No nipples.
Do we know that they're still mammals? Are mermaids still classified as mammals?
I don't think you can evolve out of being a mammal.
dude. I mean, they look like...
You can evolve into being a mammal.
They look exactly like...
You can evolve out.
Yeah, you know what? They're out of the mammal club.
Yeah.
I think they're still mammals. You would think, you know? I mean, look at dolphins. Wait,
like dolphins, whales, they all lactate. Like, they all nurse their young.
Well, that's why they're friends with the dolphins. They drink the sweet dolphin milk.
But where are dolphin nipples?
We don't know.
We still don't know.
We still don't know.
No, really, dolphins have nipples? I've never seen them.
They're there. I had to look it up. I was constantly Googling during this.
He knows enough about merfolk to know that. So.
Oh, trust me, dolphins definitely have nipples.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing I know,
it's that.
We learned something really important from this jump scare video shitty phone camera thing. We learned that this thing is alive. It was captured by the Navy. It turns into this is now the underwater Roswell. So let's hear the fate of Skinny SpongeBob, the captured mermaid.
The creature we pulled off the beach in Washington State died in 2007. We kept it alive as long as we could. I know what I did was wrong. I knew it was wrong while I was doing it, and I have to live with that. My only hope now is that by coming forward, it might help protect any of them that are still out there.
All right, R.I.P. Scary mermaid on the beach. We hardly knew you.
Oh.
And that's it. That's it for this. That's just how this ends.
Hold on. Wait, you can't.
Hold on.
You can't skip the story of the mermaid who sacrificed himself for all the other mermaids.
I got emotional about that.
You can't.
The megalodon is there.
You can't leave this out, bro. Yeah. This is a huge moment here of the story. This is what we've been leading to. We've been building to this the entire
I was
film.
invested in that, Rob. I was totally there, man.
So,
all right. So what? Hold on. You guys are getting off the rails. Let me explain what the hell they're even talking about here. That this show is interspersed with the mermaids evolving over time. They were originally those gorillas in the water, and then they grew up. Then once they're full-on mermaids later, why don't you explain? This is a scene where they're completely evolved mermaids, and they do courageous things, right?
They set this up earlier in the documentary, or whatever you want to call this thing, where they, remember the shark that we talked about, that they cut it open and there was, a merfolk inside of this thing, and there was a spear, a little spear in them too. So they set this up way earlier in the documentary, and we see what happened there and how that came to fruition. What happened was this shark showed up, and I guess captain of the Merfather, it seems like.
There was a Mer clan.
There was a Mer clan, and
they had a baby one.
There was a whole bunch of them.
Very weird baby.
A whole bunch of them. They see like a big shark coming, I guess, is kind of like what happened. Like they knew there was a shark.
Yeah, only he sees it, and he tries to warn the rest of the Mer clan.
He does his bloop.
He just makes a weird screaming sound.
So and he takes the spear thing, and he like slices his chest open with it, so he starts bleeding, and you can see like
swims away.
All the blood
starts flowing into the water and like attracting the shark towards him, and he kind of looks at his family and he's like, "You go. You must go."
Run.
And it's very dramatic, and the acting of this merman was fantastic, and he sacrifices himself for all the other mermaids, and he dies. He gets swallowed up, eaten by that shark, and
it looks like whole.
Yeah, the thing He totally.
Well, yeah.
He looked so tiny going into that mouth too. Yeah, I mean, this stuff was
exactly.
massive.
Jack had seen this before, and so he watched it with me again this time, and he's like, "It's just that it's so pointless." He's like, "That's me eating one kernel of popcorn. Like, why would waste the energy to swallow that little thing when it can go after the whales?"
Before we totally move on from this to also talk about this documentary, it did one of those things that I love, where like this shit was fake. Obviously, this shit was fake, but they had characters who were supposed to be real, that we were supposed to believe that they were real, and then they also had actors who were playing those actors.
Fake actors.
They had so there was like
they were reenactments. They were reenacting the real events.
Actors and then reenactors also in the film who were like. Seemed like they casted them just to be slightly better looking versions of.
That always happens.
One looks way worse.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very funny how they did that, though. It reminded me of The Fourth Kind, where they did a similar thing with Mila Jovovich, and it was very effective, but not so effective in this.
It was. If you're still wondering if this might be real, according to Atlas Obscura, the answer is no. that is a great source for debunking news and stuff. And here's a quote from an article about it. Quote, the film includes fake footage of real mermaids and also interviews with scientists who in reality were just characters played by actors. The show did not broadcast their fiction in any immediate or obvious way. A coy disclaimer in the end credit notes that, quote, certain events in this film are fictional. This docudrama, it seemed real enough that many people believe them. Millions of people watched this series on mermaids, and many still weren't sure what to believe at the end.
Can you call it a series if there's only two episodes
of it? It was just a special documentary about a very fake special thing that they were trying to pull off.
Special, all right.
Aquatic ape theory.
Look, if I saw this, if I was a kid and I saw this, I totally would have eaten it.
It looked like the news.
You know,
it did look like
scientific.
News.
Like here's
you were the
megalodon
going for that mer captain.
Oh, for sure. I got to eat them.
I don't understand how the first episode of this show is an hour and like 35 minutes long, and the first episode of WandaVision is 35 minutes long. Like, I don't know how are the
where's
TV
the
and film gods? Where is the justice here?
Special,
like,
not a TV
who decided
show.
that they could have this much airtime?
This is Animal Planet, and Animal Planet. They were actually criticized for giving the impression of being an actual documentary, when in fact much of the material was made up, and the scientists shown were actors. Publicity for the program included a website falsely claiming government seizure of the site's domain, and the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration had to put up a rebuttal to the program and call them out and say, look, we are not associated with this. But this thing...
Okay, good.
This thing got 1.9 million views during its U.S. telecast on May 12, 2012. It was the most watched show on Animal Planet since Steve Irwin's In Memoriam in 2006.
God. That's straight disrespectful.
What the hell is going on at Animal Planet?
I think Steve Irwin would have liked this.
No,
what do you think?
really?
No.
I'm going to go hunt me this
thing. They used a stingray.
He would have lasted 10 minutes watching this and turned it off. He would have been disgusted by this, I'm pretty sure. Because this is one of those things where this clouds the whole... Like, I know it's something that people always kind of talk about with every topic that we discuss, and all of these sort of... silly versions of the representations that we sometimes come across, is it does kind of like muddle up the real info on like if there ever was anything like a mermaid. This makes it kind of like seems more bullshitty than ever, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think it sparks the other side too. It sparks the curiosity of people to go and look this up. Because the reason that Atlas Obscura had to even write this article was because of the confusion, the fascination, but mermaid content was at an all-time high. And I'll quote again from their article. He said, these videos all draw from the same set of mermaid footage. There's this blue fuzzy man on a faraway rock who waves regally. There's the even fuzzier footage of something fin jumping from the water. There's a beautiful, hauntingly humanoid mermaid created for Pirates of the Caribbean. And the nasty, desiccated brown corpse of a mermaid lying face down on the beach, a taxiderm wonder created by a Florida artist. But one of the most popular bits of mermaid content to reuse is the eerie footage from the Animal Planet show, in which the silhouette of a mermaid swims past the camera. And they say some of these videos have millions of views, and there are incredible reaction videos to this mermaid footage. And you know all those top 5 lists, top 10 lists. You've seen some of this footage in there. That's kind of how it persists. And I think that gives people curiosity and they don't think it's fake.
I guess you could kind of, look at it from that angle. It does sort of spread more word, but that video is such bullshit. You really got to be
like, if you really get fooled by it, like, dude, really?
It doesn't look good. It looks CGI. It looks clearly CGI.
Yeah. And CGI aside, it's like the actual, I don't know, the events itself, like say the Beaufort one where it goes and it puts its hand on the glass. Like, why would it do that? Like just, it never looks natural. It never looks like real. Yeah, I don't know. It just
doesn't seem, and
it
just
stinks.
Like I mentioned earlier, for me, I guess because I pay attention to these things, it seemed like everything was filmed with the same camera too.
Yeah.
So all these found footage
hung up on this camera thing
because it makes it like if you're gonna do a project like this and you're really gonna make this shit seem real, go like Keith Aram and film it with the real cameras.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The shitty phone camera.
Do the actual, put the time into it to make it look real. Don't just be like, oh, they're stupid. They're not gonna know.
It's not Animal Planet's fault.
This is what it feels like. It feels like Animal Planet and the people who made this are like, everybody's fucking stupid. Let's just put this out. They're going to think this is real. They think that anything's real.
We're using the same cameras we use for all our other shows for this. We're not
just put a filter on it. It's fine.
I had a totally different impression about this, honestly. Like for me, this documentary was about 2 main things. A, how humans fuck with marine mammals. And it was like I thought that they were using the mermaid, like they couched it in the mermaid narrative, but it's like humans fuck with marine mammals and like we beach them. We mess with their lifestyle. Like we hurt them.
It's true.
You should be aware
that is
of that.
The takeaway, yeah.
But is it because of sonar weapons that those whales got beached? I feel like that's spreading false information.
Yeah, when really it could be pollution.
No, they were fighting the mermaid army.
There's probably a real reason. No, there's probably an actual real reason.
Army person.
There's probably an actual real reason why these whales are washing up, and it's
the Navy.
Maybe, but you could also say that about everything, like that the government's responsible. But
chemtrails is the Navy.
In the end, these poor whales washing up, it's probably just like global warming. It's like unfortunately.
Yeah, either way, it's like it's fucked. I get they're trying to call attention to that, but yeah, they did it in a really stupid, insulting way.
I didn't actually think of it.
These mermaids are
I didn't think of that.
Remember that reservoir? Remember the reservoir guys? These mermaids are causing havoc.
Yeah, they're bitches. Yeah,
I guess it's just it's such thick bullshit. It's such thick like they said about humans.
Congratulations on your episode.
Like they said about humans having the thickest layer of fat on their body out of all creatures or something. Like they just made some fact like that. They're like, that's why we could be mermaids because we've got as much fat as like a manatee or some shit like that.
We do have some fat people.
I took a picture of this when I was like was watching the video. I was like, because I rewound it because the guy is like he was a doctor or like an actor pretending to be a doctor, pretending to be an actor who was a doctor or whatever.
In a reenactment by another guy.
He said, the only animals that walk on 2 feet, they're humans. And I was like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I looked it up. There's plenty of animals that walk on 2 feet. Like,
and then the whole fishermen who interact with dolphins and the dolphins help them fish and everything. That's the only instance ever of this kind of interaction with humans. I'm like, dogs, cats. Like symbiotic relationships all over the place.
Yeah, dogs are the most important animal relationship that humans have ever had. They literally helped us evolve into the people that we became.
Exactly.
Dolphins are their water dogs, so we've evolved in our one way. We got our dogs; they're down there with their dolphin buddies.
I did get totally emotional when that one merfolk like put his hand on the top of the dolphin's head and was rubbing. He pet him. And I was like,
that was very nice.
That was pretty cute.
A mermaid pets a dolphin for sure in this. If that sells anyone on it. That was nice.
I guess I did ask for this. I guess in the end I did ask for this. You did give me what I asked for. I was hoping that we were just going to be talking about some silly YouTube videos or something. I didn't know we were going to get into all this.
We're going to the source.
This is a very be careful what you wish for.
The reason those YouTube videos are there because of like everything we went through here.
It's true. It's true.
Let's get out. What should the poll be? Should it be are mermaids real? Should it be what are mermaids? What do you guys think?
I think what are mermaids is a good one because we could have like aquatic apes. Are they just dolphins that ended up fucking humans? Like, yeah.
Are they just not real? Are they manatees? Sure, we could put a few different things on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I had an idea for this.
Mythology.
Yeah, we could say what is a mermaid? I think that's pretty much or how did I don't know.
It's all bullshit. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, okay, if we all agree that it's all bullshit, then My poll suggestion was, would you rather fuck a fish top or a fish bottom mermaid?
See,
that's valid.
That's a great one, and also maybe sexy it up because this was the least sexy mermaid content I've ever seen in my life in any format at all. Worst looking mermaids.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll look for that poll. Just go to unbelieverspodcast.com to vote. Let's get out of this.
Now Andrew Queen has lost her ring. I think it used to sit right here, encrusted in blue and hard and true. For now I will kiss her finger.
Some fun pixies from our music advisor, Pandora 3373.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear any mermaid stuff, but I liked it. I felt underwater.
Yes, I think that was the point. But yeah, mermaids, man.
An underwater guy.
And we went through this whole thing. You talk about the history and culture and the aquatic ape theory, which is very unbelievable and fun. We didn't really bring up we didn't really bring up any like mermaid pop culture stuff. Rob, who's your mermaid pop culture? What's your mermaid movie?
We didn't even get any shell bras, which I feel like is
true.
If you're talking mermaids, you got to have at least one bra that's made out of shells.
Mm-hmm.
But besides
that's kind of the main allure. Yeah,
I had seen a movie that was like, I forget why I ended up seeing this movie. It came across my mind. It's called Blew My Mind. It sounds like a porno. It's not a porno.
Yeah.
But what it is, it is
super.
What were you searching for? Rob just came across this. He's like, oh, here we go.
He was searching for blowholes, and he got something completely unexpected.
Blowhole my mind.
I was looking for horror movies. I was trying to find horror movies that were like just weird horror movies, and somehow I came across this one, which was about a girl who turns into a mermaid. And it's actually, where was this made? It's like it's a German movie. So it was German, and it was in subtitles.
The German guy who saw the spears and stuff earlier. So yeah, they're there. And man, you guys keep talking about blowholes. We completely skipped this. Play soundboard 2. Actually clipped this in the episode.
It wasn't a blowhole.
There we go. It wasn't a blowhole. That was, I think he was talking about their melons.
Wasn't
He's like, their melons weren't blowholes.
Oh yeah, like
melons.
Guys, that's not a glory hole. Don't put that there.
They were blooping from that.
That's a melon hole.
From. Okay.
A melon hole.
Wow. Mermaids. No. What a mess. What a mess.
Ouchie.
Yeah, I like Splash. Fine. We're going to talk about movies. Splash was cool. Tom Hanks is funny in that.
That was fun.
Yeah, but
that was pretty good. I watched it as a kid.
This Blew My Mind movie though is fucking weird. That's why I brought it up, because it's fucking weird. If you want to watch a weird mermaid movie,
blow your mind?
It blew my mind, but not in any good way. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch afterwards? It's really weird.
Well,
so stay away. You're not recommending it.
Yeah.
This is not movie night suggestion. We're not doing that. And I would say thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who hung out this week.
It.
We did our La Llorona movie night a couple of nights ago. Thanks for everyone for hanging out.
It was fun.
All the patrons can listen to that as the movie commentary track for La Llorona, our initial reactions to that. But we got one more thing to do that's not mermaid related, hopefully. And Jude, what is that?
Everyone's third favorite segment. Poll results.
This week's poll, what's the strangest thing in Mexico? And the choices were the Zona del Silencio, the Island of the Dolls, La Llorona, La Lechuza, or other. I'm going to ask you, Drea Mora, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
This is the first time I'm actually stumped, but I mean, I'm thinking just based off of the illustrations, La Lechuza.
All right, what about you, Jude?
Island of the Dolls?
All right, you got Island of Dolls.
That's good.
What about you, Rob? What's the strangest thing in Mexico?
I gotta go with the only other choice that there was, Llorona, because she's just so creepy and she's the most famous.
Well, all of you are wrong. Rob's double wrong because there was another choice. Congratulations.
Oh, man.
The Zona del Silencio.
So many. Jeez, I forgot. Yeah, that plays Silent but Deadly.
With 10% of the vote, Zona del Silencio, we had 5% for the island, 5 for Llorona, 5 for Lechuza. They split that. But, of course, there are others. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Is it strange and unexplainable how the shekels from there hit different compared to the ones from here? Signed, El Slan. Okay, I don't know. How do the
what?
How the
what
genes
is
fit
different?
differently compared to the other
The
ones?
shingles?
What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Zombie chihuahuas. Signed, where am I? Zombie chihuahuas. That is has to be a very strange thing in Mexico.
Yeah, I like it.
What's the strange? Yes, thank you. Where am I? What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Rods in the cave of the swallows. Signed, pants filler. Oh, we know that's some high
that's Mexico?
strangeness because.
So you don't have any videos of people swallowing rods?
No, not yet.
Well, we're working on it. Thank you so much to
Not
the guy
yet.
who.
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
Thank you, Pants Filler. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? The invisible border wall. Signed, Darth Blader. Good one, Darth Blader. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? I didn't pay much mind to those stories about Mexican water, but my bladder busted, man. Signed. Oh, no, I signed the Machinist. There we go. All right, that's a new one
like that.
for us, but not for some. What we got?
My bladder is busted, man. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Thank you, the Machinist. All right, it worked. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? I don't know. Two butt cheeks slapping together in the middle of the zone of silence. Cause what happened? Signed,
Carol.
Signed, Unbeliever Carol. Of course.
Nice. Okay,
My number.
that's now my favorite.
I think we got a couple.
I love you,
from that.
Carol.
You.
And of course.
What happened? I don't know.
I don't know. Thank you, Unbeliever Carol. I know, another great poll result. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Una lechuga en el teco. Observidianos. Creo que se comió mi gato. Signed, Andres Basiaolgo. Andres Basiaolgo. I have no idea what you just said.
He says he think it ate my cat.
Oh! Give him the clip.
I think it ate my cat.
Thank you so much, Andres Basiaolgo. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Mountain Monsters Mexican Vacation. Every cryptid's bladder is busted, and they gotta go to the bathroom. Cute trapper hollering. Signed, Blue Box UFO. All right, so the Mountain Monster on the vacation. One says...
My bladder is busted, man. I gotta go to the bathroom.
And then, wait, what does Trapper say then? Wow,
Nice.
Blue Box UFO with some creative use of the new bladder is busted. I love it. What's this?
Gotta give
Suck it up, you son of a bitch, Trapper. Suck it up.
I gotta finish it. I can't play the first one without the second one.
Awesome one, Blue Box UFO. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Zach Baggins is the strangest thing in any country he's in. Signed, Mike Richardson. He's got a good point there.
That's fair.
Okay, all right. So we'll just give him a.
You didn't toot, did you? No. Did you smell it?
It's a dirty poll result.
This is nuts.
That's just usual. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? I like the chupacabra, even with his sucking, meat yanking, and busted bladder. Signed, Hose B. All right, Hose B.
Nice.
Two new classics.
My bladder is busted, man. I gotta go to the bathroom.
But I think he wants the Bigfoot one.
Literally sucking.
Yeah, okay. And
Whoa.
put that up in the tree. So.
What?
Yeah. You're gonna jerk it
yeah.
off?
So you think Bigfoot's jerked off a piece of meat? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
As a packed
Yes, I
comment.
do.
Thank you, Hose B. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Would you let Gary Busey date your mom? I would. Signed, Gary Busey.
Whoa.
Thank you, Gary Busey.
I love it.
Pretty funny.
Wow.
Where did that
I think
come
that's my
from?
top
Who
one
let
off the
him?
bat.
Who let him in here?
Why
Who
is Gary
invited him
Busey-
For
to
joining the
this
chat,
party?
Gary Busey.
I'm glad Gary Busey's
Gary
listening.
Busey has
No idea
entered
where
the
that
chat.
come from.
Come on, we got to worry about what's the... He can get some honor or anything. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Water that makes you throw up and fill your pants. It's on corrupted mask.
Hey.
True.
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
All right, corrupted mask. What is the strangest thing in Mexico? The fucking magnets in the zone of silence. How do they work? Signed, Mothman Mother.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Fucking magnets.
How do they
Still
work?
don't know. We may never know.
We don't
All
know.
those we don't know clips.
We may never know.
That's my answer to your question, to our question. Thank you, Mothman Mother. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? The Mexican ass-eater burrito breakfast lunch combo. I shit my pants for a month. Oops, sorry about the laundry, Mom. Signed, Voodoo.
Oh, my. Sorry, Mom.
I think we've heard enough Phil pants, but maybe we'll hear some.
I peed my pants, man.
I'm not going to tell anybody.
What's up with that?
Come on.
What's up with
It was
that?
helpful there. Thank you, Voodoo. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? Drugs, hookers, that thing that happens after you drink the water, and Mary! Oh, you didn't sign off. And that was our final one for this evening. That was it. That was the final other. I'll go over real quick. What's the strangest thing in Mexico? We had El Slan with it. It is strange and unexplainable how the shekels from there hit different compared to the ones from here. We had Where Am I with Zombie Chihuahuas. You had Pants Filler with Rods in the Cave of the Swallows. You had Darth Blader with The Invisible Border Wall. We had The Machinist with, I didn't pay much mind to those stories about Mexican water, but my bladder busted, man. I don't know. He's in my lead. We had Unbeliever Carol with, I don't know, two butt cheeks slapping together in the middle of Zone of Silence. Because what happened? Oh man, that's really great. We had Andres Bazzi Owlgo with Una Lechuga en el Teco Observandos. Creo que comió en mi gato. We had Blue Box UFO with Mountain Monsters Mexican Vacation. Every cryptid's bladder is busted and gotta go to the bathroom. Cue Trapper hollering. He gave us a little cue there for it too. We had Mike Richardson with Zach Baggins is the strangest thing in any country he's in.
Fact.
We had Hose B with I Like the Chupacabra, even with his sucking, meat yanking, and busted bladder.
Yum.
We had Gary Busey with Would you let Gary Busey date your mom? I would. Thank you, Gary Busey. We had Corrupted Mask with Water That Makes You Throw Up and Fill Your Pants. We had Mothman Mother with The Fucking Magnets in the Zone of Silence. How do they work? We had Voodoo with The Mexican Ass Eater Burrito Breakfast Lunch Combo. I shit my pants for a month. Oops, sorry about the laundry, Mom. And finally, this one did sign. Maybe this signed off as Marie. It says drugs, hookers, and that thing that happens after you drink the water. I'm going to ask you, Jude Prestia, who do you think won this week's poll?
Dude, it pains me not to vote for Carol. It's a deep pain. Gary Busey. that would hit me different.
Okay. All right. What about you, Drea Mora?
It's weird. I'm kind of the opposite. I have to give a shout out to the Gary Busey. I just love how completely random it was, but I got to give it to Carol.
All right. And what about you, Rob? Who do you like?
I'm just going to vote for Gary Busey, hoping that it is actually him so that we can get him to play a game on the show.
All right, man. I guess it's going to come down to me here. I'll just take it. I'm going to say I thank you for everyone with all the great bladder is busted. If Machinist was the favorite, you're in top for me. But if Carol's on the board and it's close and Jude is apologizing to her before, congratulations, Unbeliever Carol with, I don't know, two butt cheeks slapping together in the middle of the Zone of Silence because what happened? Congratulations, Carol. You just won this week's poll results.
You deserved it.
Gary Busey got robbed.
Gary Busey will be back. That's his debut. He has to return. That's why he can't just take it off the bat like that. But we've come to the end of the program. Before we go, Drea Mora, do you have anything you'd like to say or plug?
Yeah, I'll plug Spirits and Spirits again, but also our shop, T Public, it's coexisting along with our Cafe Press. So they're still active. If you need to get shot glasses, go to the Cafe Press because they don't do shot glasses on T Public.
Yeah, if you want a T-shirt with our cool ass logo on it, you can order it on those websites because got to give Raymond a shout out. We always got to give Raymond a shout out.
Yeah,
always Raymond.
Everybody who submitted the art too, like they deserve the plugs.
Absolutely. What about you, Jude?
One quick shout out to Tanuki's Revenge for getting me to build out my garden today, and there's a show called Siren that is it's like the root base of the same mermaid thing where it's like the Navy fucks up mermaids in Washington State. Then the people start fucking the mermaids and they fall in love. Yeah, like Brianna watched.
They fuck and then fall in love.
Yeah,
so you're plugging
for like 3 months.
You're plugging Sirens?
All right,
Siren.
Plugging Siren
on NBC.
These sirens are getting plugged. Yep. Yeah.
All right, you got anything else too, Rob?
Check out our Patreon. We're going to have the watch along for The Curse of La Llorona up there very soon. So if you're not a member of the Patreon, that's a good reason. If you want to go and watch La Llorona with us, you'll have that option now. That's now an option you have, as well as all of the old, the past Patreon content that we put out is on there too.
Which we put out a very recent episode too. We've been having a lot of fun on there. I'll plug that too. Go check it out. Fun stuff. The Unbelievers podcast hosts today were Drea, Mora, Jude, Prestia, and me, Rus Ryan. Our producer and soundboard engineer is Rob Okey. You can get our tarot cards at unbelievablepodcards.com. You can join that Patreon by going to patreon.com/unbelievers, Instagram at Unbelievers Podcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. And check out our merch store at TeePublic. That link is in the description. All kind of great stuff. And thank you so much to all the patrons. Sandy and Deborah Foles, Chad Buita, Chris Stroker, Jeff Hartranft, Louis Pion, Scott E, 8-Bit Melody, Jenny Dyer, Christopher Balderrama, David Egelhoff, Pam Z, JT Spranklin, Vic Foss, Little PP, Dr. Ortega, Tyler Ventura, Adam Dvorak, Corrupted Mass, Michael Phillips, Weary Axel, Carol Valley, winner of this week's poll, Manny, MQ Ultra, CJP, Braden Hitt, Raymond Orwell, Todd X, Christopher Panici, The Moon, That Judgy Moon, Mike Henry, Bryce Cronenberger Jr., Dawn Bright, Shannon Frigno, Tom O'Connell, Mark Braun, Donna Vance, Jenna Stevens, Cat Chaos, and Jason Kelly, and Mike of the Mike Army, Brian Ashton, Michael Army Menta, Jack Ass, the Wombat Preservationist. Our music advisor is Pandora3373. Our official composer and theme song creator is Unbeliever A.A. Ron, a.k.a. Aaron Chilb. Follow him on Instagram at @TheAaronChilb. Our official graphic designer and card maker who designed our logo is Raymond Orwell. Check out his work at Raven Creative on Twitter and Project Raven Creative on Instagram. Our official Unbeliever without a title still is Nicholas Sarastavi. Our official Unbeliever Raising Puck Wudgies is Joe Filler. Our official Hawaiian Paranormal Investigator is Green Finhawk. Our official Resident Sagittarius is Anton. Our official Madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Mothman Enthusiast and leader of the Mike Army is Michael Shields. Our official MUFON Inside Man is Chris De Moraes. Our official Unbeliever Peacefully Eating a Hamburger is Michelle Durham. Our official Unbelievers Time Traveler is Taylor Nelson. Our official Ghost Hunter is Amelia Childs. And Ghost Hunting in New England to the other winner Netflix. Our official Senior European Correspondent is Kay Mill of the I Don't Know Podcast. Our official Guardian of the Branches at Kraken Stack. Our official Alien Bopper is Nunchuck Bob. And this week's Unbeliever Focus is Sharky Xmas. Hey, why not? He probably had it before, who cares? But he's not too happy about us inducting Rick Dyer into the SOS Hall of Fame. I know a few people didn't like that too much. And when I asked him if he and his family and his fellow Canadians would ever forgive us, he said,
"We don't know. But we still don't know."
Good night, dolphin friends.
For my neck a rusted locket. For what's missing, I'll sacrifice my flesh. Only kissing you was so hard and it's wild fresh. For what's missing, I'll sacrifice my flesh. Only kissing you was so hard.